Hello there, welcome to ITV News Meridian.
Tonight's headlines in the southeast. As the debate over migrant crossings rages on, there's a vigil in Folkestone tonight to remember the human cost of the crisis.
As Southern Water admits releasing sewage into our waterways even on dry days, campaigners accuse the company of profiteering from pollution.
And we're at the Dartford Distribution Centre, where high-tech helpers are on hand ahead of the busiest day of the year.
Good evening. In the last few minutes, a vigil has taken place on the beach at Folkestone to remember 27 asylum seekers who drowned a year ago when their boat capsized in the Channel.
And 16 relatives of those who died have marked today's anniversary by demanding government action to prevent future tragedies. Tony Green has been at the vigil and sent this.
It was on this day last year at around 1 p.m. that a French fisherman raised the alarm after seeing bodies in the water 9 nautical miles from Calais. That led to a search and rescue operation that led to 27 bodies being recovered from the water. 7 of them women, 1 of them pregnant. 32 people had made that crossing the night before at around 10 p.m, but there were only 2 survivors. Now, tonight's vigil is to remember each one of those people who died this time last year. It's been organised by Bridget Chapman from the Kent Refugee Action Network. Bridget, this was the biggest loss of human life in the Channel for 30 years, and yet this year even more people have taken their chances and made that crossing. Why?
In short, it's because they don't see that they have any other option. You know, they need to get here for various reasons, and there are no safe routes available. We saw when the Home Secretary was grilled in the Select Committee yesterday, when she was asked about how do people apply, she had no answer. There is no other way to do this journey.
Thank you, Bridget. Now, the charities can call for change, but it's the politicians who have to deliver it. We spoke to Tim Lawton earlier about what needs to happen and what the emergency service response was on that day.
Frankly, it's incredible that more have not lost their lives given the dangers involved. And I pay tribute to the Coast Guard, to the Border Force, to RNLI, and everybody who's rescued many people from a grimmer death. But we've got to stop it, because we should not be having people, paying people traffickers, coming across in small dinghies. There are better ways to get into the United Kingdom if you have a claim to be here.
Well as the vigil here, there's another in Dunkirk, close to where the journey began last year. And the families of the victims have written to the Prime Minister Rishi Sunak calling for action to make sure that there's no further loss of life.
Tony Green reporting there, and apologies for the sound quality. As you can see, the weather is quite bad there. In other news, spending cuts could see more than 200 PCSOs axed by Kent Police. The force says it needs to find savings of £30 million over 4 years from a budget where more than 80% of expenditure is on people.
This is a proposal for a new model that uses hundreds more officers in a way we think will be most effective to address the issues that communities say matter most to them, and to still retain a very high number of PCSOs as a core part of our neighbourhood policing to do what they do brilliantly.
A man who repeatedly stabbed someone outside a shopping centre in Tunbridge Wells has been jailed for more than 5 years. Michael Rodriguez, who's 22, assaulted the victim with a knife in Upper Grosvenor Road and continued to attack him even when he tried to run away.
The RAC is urging supermarkets to cut their fuel prices by at least 5 pence a litre in a bid to help people cope with the rising cost of energy. RAC Fuel Watch data shows supermarkets are currently enjoying margins of around 15 pence a litre on both petrol and diesel. Drivers pay an average of almost £1.61 for petrol and just over £1.84 for diesel.
A new mural has been unveiled in Worthing by Extinction Rebellion, warning people of the climate crisis. Artist Ajax Piper created the piece in collaboration with the XR Group, who said the town is set to be almost completely wiped out by 2050 due to rising sea levels.
The world's oldest cat has been rehomed. Flossie, who was born in 1995, making her 27. She was signed over to the Cats Protection Charity in Kent last year when her previous owner was no longer able to look after her. She'll now be heading to London after getting matched with a woman from Kent.
Now, there are claims that Southern Water dumped sewage 80 times across the south coast during dry weather, 4 times more than any other water company.
According to research by Surfers Against Sewage, the releases, which are usually only allowed during wet weather conditions, happened between October last year and September this year.
Well, we can talk to Dr. Toby Willison, Director of Environment and Corporate Affairs at Southern Water. Doctor, why was so much sewage released into our waterways during dry weather?
So the way the system works is that any water that's in the catchment, whether that's surface water or groundwater, combines with the foul material from homes and businesses in the combined sewer system and gets to our treatment works. If that total volume exceeds the capacity of the treatment works to process it, then it is allowed to permit to discharge to the environment, which is what's happening when the CSOs spill.
I mean, people watching this might be slightly surprised. They might understand, maybe not agree with the fact that it could happen during times of flooding, but in times of drought, that seems a little odd. What are you doing to try and mitigate these circumstances?
So this is all about separating any water in the catchment from the foul material, and it's working in partnership to remove that surface runoff. And it's using things like water butts, like tree pits, like sustainable urban drainage systems, like wetlands. You know, any mechanism to separate the surface water from the foul material, because we're more than able to treat all the foul material.
These figures show that your company had 4 times more incidents of dry spills than any other water company in the UK. Campaigners say you are profiteering from pollution. How do you answer that claim?
So I'd say 2 things for that. One is that we haven't paid a dividend since 2017. So actually, any operational profit that the organisation makes is ploughed back into improving our assets. The other thing I would say is I totally get the concerns of customers. You know, we have 2,500 staff who live in the southeast and who really value their environment. So we are working tirelessly to reduce the spilling from our CSOs.
OK, Dr. Willison, we have to leave it there, but thanks for talking to us.
It's a shorter programme from us tonight because of the World Cup. And on that note, let's take a look at some of our sports headlines.
Zero Accounting Software sponsors ITV Regional Sports Report.
England manager Gareth Southgate is preparing for his team's second group match against the USA. Southgate, who grew up in Crawley, took training today in Qatar ahead of the game, which will be live here on ITV1.
They're an athletic team who press really well, so when you're in possession of the ball you don't get time to settle, and I think they're a well-coached, well-organised team, so I think we know how the game will be. We've got to make sure that we're ready for it.
Well, from the World Cup to the FA Cup, 2 of our teams are in second round action this weekend. Gillingham travel to Dagenham and Redbridge, while non-league Ebbsfleet are hoping to make history by booking a place in the 3rd round. The National League South side need to beat Fleetwood at home on Sunday.
And away from football, Paralympic skier Millie Knight has announced she's taking a break from the sport. Millie from Canterbury has suffered a number of concussions and will take a year out. All the best to her.
Now, staff at the Amazon distribution warehouse in Dartford are getting extra help from robots as they gear up for their busiest day of the year tomorrow, Black Friday.
The machines are powering shelving units, which means an item can be shipped out within 2 hours of an order being placed. Sarah Saunders went along to find out what happens after you click buy now.
From toys to trainers, electronics to art supplies, packages of all shapes and sizes are whipping along more than 8 miles of conveyor belts at the Amazon Fulfilment Centre in Dartford. With Black Friday and Christmas on the way, this is their busiest time of year. and even the managers will be expected to pitch in.
Definitely, this is the time of the year that we plan for it. Like we think about it like 10 months of the year, we will plan for these 2 months. Everybody in my leadership team is ready. All of us, we do packing, picking, so that every customer order reaches the customer on time.
This building is the size of 6.5 football pitches on each of its 4 floors. And from the moment a product is ordered, it can be shipped within 2 hours.
A key part of Amazon's super-fast delivery success story is robotics. From this arm helping to pick up and sort packages to an incredible robotic shelving system upstairs.
Trundling along at walking pace, thousands of robots shuffle shelving pods across the floor. They huddle 20 centimetres apart for storage, then wake up and travel to the pickers when an item is ordered.
So basically the pods will go about, they look like a Wi-Fi system. So they go around to get the orders, they come to the gates, the pickers pick what they need.
We are taking the item, this is showing us where is exactly. We find the location, we're having the item in our hands, we're scanning. So the system is confirming that this is the correct item.
Obviously in this case we have a box that can be adjusted in size, and obviously we will be intended to make the box as small as possible. So the delivery guy can fit more boxes in their van so he can deliver more. Once it's done, up into the conveyor and bye.
Amazon has been criticised over conditions and pay rates for staff. Here, where there are 2,000 employees, there was industrial action earlier this year.
What do you say to people who have concerns about what people are paid?
I'm really proud of the competitive pay that we have for our associates here in terms of not only the salary, but there is a lot of benefits. There's also a lot of discount. The whole package that they get as Amazon employee is very, very competitive.
As customers prepare to snap up Black Friday deals, goods processed here will be landing on the doorsteps of hundreds of thousands of customers. Sarah Saunders, ITV News, Dartford.
Obviously a very high-tech place, but I like the idea of the guy waving goodbye to the present.
Yeah, he's going to be very busy just doing that all the time. Bye, bye. The other thing is, though, do you remember it used to be one day Black Friday? Now it just seems to go on for, like, weeks.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I don't know. Weather time now. Here's Pip.
Feels like home, whatever the weather. Valent Boilers and Heat Pumps sponsors ITV Meridian Weather.
Hello there. Well, we certainly have seen a spell of wet and windy weather out there over the last few hours. Thankfully, that is now starting to clear. And actually, through the next couple of days, we'll see some fairly quiet weather taking hold. Tomorrow and Saturday, largely dry and bright, but do make the most of it. By the time we get to Sunday, it looks as though we'll have a bit more rain on the way. So out there at the moment, the last of the wet and windy spell of weather is clearing away eastwards. A few showers tucking in behind initially, but as the night wears on, the showers will tend to fade, the winds will ease down a little, and for all of us, it will become quite chilly. Temperatures in some rural inland spots, perhaps as low as 4 or 5 Celsius by dawn. Tomorrow morning then, a fresh start, a bright start, lots of lovely sunshine to kick off our Friday, and really little change in that setup as we head into the afternoon. Lots of autumnal sunshine to be found, but it's not going to help the temperatures too much. It will be quite a cool day, highs of 11 or 12 Celsius at best, winds light inland but a little bit breezy around the coast, making it feel on the chilly side here. And these are your times of high water for tomorrow. For Brighton, they're just the one, 11:39 in the morning. Now looking ahead overnight into Saturday, it remains on the quiet side. We hold on to a weak ridge of high pressure, keeping things settled, but eyes out towards the west and you'll see the next band of rain lining up. That's set to head our way as we head into Sunday. So a pleasant start to the weekend, becoming increasingly soggy through Sunday itself. That rain taking its time to clear, but Monday generally a mix of sunshine and showers, and there are hints that beyond that we could see something a little more settled all round. Do take care. Bye-bye.
Valent sponsors ITV Meridian Weather.
I'll have our late news at 11 o'clock this evening, and shortly after that is The Last Word, our political programme with Phil Hornby. In just a moment next year on ITV1, though, it's the evening news with Mary Nightingale.
That is it from us for the time being. Have a fantastic evening. We'll see you very soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.